Have you ever planned a trip that you thought would just be another routine adventure, but ends up exceeding all your expectations? This is one of those stories.
Let's get self-control right there.
After work, we drove 3 hours into the mountains to find the trailhead.
Looks like this might be where we stop.
4-wheel drive only, huh? No way. I feel like your beard has a little more gray in it than what it used to have.
So there's this emblem map. So dispersed camping is allowed on either side of the road if it's got that. And where we're at.
This is a vehicle use map?
Yeah, the emblem map.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna air down here. I know you want to wait to air down until the last minute, but there's no reason to.
I know.
Like, the only reason to wait to air down is in the hopes of not having to air down at all.
I know.
That's what all those archers wear, is
Yeah.
those things.
So if you're a real bow hunter or backpack hunter or whatever, you got your binoculars in here. These are new, so I have a like wind checker here, you know, just
After a little pregame, we hit the trail to see how far we could get before the sun started to go down. Yeah, pretty rough up here. This road is pretty rocky, but our trucks are handling it with ease. The sun setting over the horizon lights up the aspen trees surrounding us. we finally find a place to stay for the night. I think this is going to be the spot. And just in time as the sun's going down. I don't know if you can hear, but there's a creek behind me as well. You ready to get out? Alright. A little muddy around here. You're gonna get all muddy? Is that what you're gonna do?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. You can't do that there. You can't. Ah, that's a big one. You've been holding that in for a while, huh? His new camera. Oh, it's the Osmo DJI. Okay.
Yo, Lily. Nope. You're gonna get right into the water.
That's the last thing I need. Is a soggy, wet dog sitting in my truck all day.
Check it out. Is there water in there?
Didn't see that drop. You didn't see that drop and just like crashed
Sit.
into the grass.
Good girl. Lay down. Lay down.
I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of boggy down there underneath.
Alright, so if you guys are wondering, I know some of you are curious about the camera equipment and how I film. The biggest thing is if you have a full frame camera, okay, and a quality lens, alright, so you spend a little bit of money on your lens, you have good glass, you're going to be able to capture great footage, good quality footage. The keys is you want to use your, so the way I film is I put it on aperture primer, aperture focus, so that's the setting on the top of the camera, and it's just an A, so you click it to A, aperture priority, and so that's what that's going to do is it's going to make the aperture your like a manual adjustment, and then your ISO and your shutter speed are going to adjust automatically on their own based off how much light's coming in. Okay, because all three of those things basically control how much light you're receiving. And now the best rule of thumb for filming is you want to limit how much your camera is having to adjust for lighting on its own. Okay, so if I want to use a 2.8 aperture and there's a bunch of sun, that low aperture is going to let in a bunch of light. Okay, and it's going to be way too much light. And now my camera's going to have to adjust ISO and shutter speed in order to kind of like, either it's going to be overexposed or I have an ND filter on, right? And now I'm not getting enough light, so the ISO is going to go up to try to brighten things up. So if it's going to try to brighten things up kind of digitally, so not manually, you know, through the camera lens, if we're trying to brighten things up through the digital kind of, you know, tools that the camera has, that's going to create noise, it's going to reduce your picture quality. So the best way to maintain picture quality is to keep your ISO low, your shutter speed low, and that's just a great rule of thumb. So right now I have no ND filter on, we're just using the normal lens, and I have it at 1.8 aperture because it is kind of dark. So 1.8 is going to let the most amount of light in, and my ISO is at like 160 and my shutter is at 1/30. So that means the camera's been doing almost nothing to adjust anything on its own. So you're getting all of the light in as how it should be, not messed with, and that's going to give me a really good picture. And hopefully it is a good picture, because if it's not, when I go back to edit this, then I'm going to be eating my words. But from the 3 years I've been doing this, that's what I've found out. So rule of thumb, keep your ISO low, keep your shutter speed low, use your aperture to either let more light in or let less light in, or say you're trying to focus on something and you're having trouble with your autofocus, if you use a higher aperture, it's going to be easier to focus on that, because a higher aperture allows you to focus on more things in the picture. So that's just kind of basic photography type stuff there. So if your autofocus is having issues, try going up an aperture. If you have, you know, if you have the flexibility to do that, say you don't need a bunch of light, you have plenty of light so you can go up an aperture, because that's going to diminish the amount of light that comes in.
My rangefinder.
Hanging, I hung my target from a tree,
Yeah.
and I told you it was overshooting.
Yeah.
Went right into the wood and I couldn't get it out.
Yeah. 340. I don't. I don't know if. Yeah, I've got like. These two too.
Yeah, because they come out of the straw line. But if I use the white light instead of the amber, the footage turns out a lot better on the camera.
With the white light.
Yeah, with white. Because this is giving off a better light for filming.
Like a daylight.
It's getting cold out here. I wonder what the temp is. Did I notice some of the trees when we were driving up were already starting to, the leaves were looking a little yellow already.
I know. I saw that too.
On the aspen trees. It makes the nighttime so much more, what's the word? You feel like you can keep doing stuff at night. Because if it's dark, it's kind of, well, maybe we should just go to bed, you know?
Yeah.
Versus now it's light, we can see everything just fine, and we can hang out and talk and do whatever. It's almost the same as sitting around a campfire.
Yeah.
The tripod was probably in the rifle section, wasn't it?
It was in the optics section.
Yeah.
Well, so there's a difference, and I couldn't quite describe it, but I think there's a difference between a camera tripod and a video tripod. This one's a video. Well, I say tripod.
You mean
the
scope?
head. No.
Video or
just
scope?
Like this piece right here.
Oh, okay. The cool thing about this light is you can adjust the angles that it's shooting at. Like that. So now I'm not wasting battery trying to light up this spot. I'm just lighting up this spot. Yeah. Compete and make a certain time.
Yeah.
And be competitive. Oh, maybe. Still cooking. I decided to sleep in my truck rather than brave the cold, and made coffee inside too. So I decided to sleep inside the truck. Last night, I don't know, we were drinking a little bit and I got lazy and just didn't want to, I didn't bring my really warm sleeping bag, so. Weston's at it again with the target practice. What do you think about that, Lily? Alright. You're gonna knock my stuff over. After coffee and breakfast, we broke camp and headed out. There was still a lot of ground to cover. See, look at that. You telling me that's how 15 PSI?
No, my truck's saying like 11 right now too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we're at the same. Good spot for a beer, but it's a little early for beer.
I was thinking about pulling out a beer too.
Right? I think there's a race going on.
You know, it's probably not my favorite, but
Jeez, you must have. See, that's what happens when you go so fast.
camp or backpack or I don't know what exactly. I still got to work on my.
The
game
truck
plan
has
for
to be
this year.
close enough because you got to haul that meat out somehow, so you don't. There was a small section of hardball road that would connect us to the next part of the trail. Definitely a beautiful spot. If you guys are still watching this video, why not leave it a like? And if you want to see more stuff like this, consider subscribing. coming, keep coming. Yep. Alright, here, take your camera. I gotta get my drone out of the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
The 6 and Taylor was rated a 7. Like Taylor's not a 7.
This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. Side-by-sides coming up.
Okay.
We could wait till they get here and see if they just want to pass us or if they want to chill up here, and then that'll determine whether we stay or what.
Okay. Well, get out my picture real quick.
Okay. Here we are. We did it. Just not much room up here at all, so can't spend much time. And we got a few side-by-sides coming up, but this whole place is beautiful. Pearl Pass, definitely one of the cooler ones. Not a fan of Taylor, that was pretty boring. We spent a little bit of time at the top of Pearl Pass and then started heading down as we still had a lot of miles to cover. This side of the pass had a lot of skinny shelf roads on the way down.
Look at those killer lights. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be recording. Just kidding, Warren.
This obstacle was kind of fun because it made your truck a little cattywampus. You're close to popping your bead on that too. Locker on.
This thing's way up in the air. Look at it. Way up there.
There you go. There you go.
These cows have super red fur. It's like glossy looking.
Dude, 12 years ago, I probably could have told you, like, what breed these are.
This cow's literally blocking the road, sucking at this cow's teat. Like, get out of the road.